Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Ether Tale Radio Theater. I'm your host, Scott Paulson. With me today is my usual posse of wonderful performers. We often call ourselves the not ready for airtime players, but I think we're ready this time. Although we didn't do a mic check as usual. Barbara Henderson, could you talk into your microphone?
Hello, Scott. Great to be here.
And hopefully the listeners can hear that. And, Melanie Peters, are you there?
I'm here and there.
And Gabriel Pan?
Hello.
Now, Gabriel, you've graciously agreed to do a bell wash during that one on page 3. Could I hear the bell wash?
Yeah, sure.
Very good. So, and be sure to leave that stick where you can grab it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in this microphone, and today I brought my harp with me. And Wade's on the telephone, so I don't know if this is working out, but that's okay. That's okay. He's running a business, ladies and gentlemen. He's running a business here. And again, we're so grateful that you've tuned in to this live, live radio show. We've been doing this for several seasons, it seems to me. And we're going to keep on doing it till we get it right, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight we have a wonderful one-act play that was in the public domain, and so delighted to come across it. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the fact that you can nominate a book for One Book, One San Diego after we do the play. And we're going to talk a little bit about what a fantastic day we all had on World Bookmark Day. You should mark your calendars in the future for February 25. That's World Bookmark Day. And if you didn't know that, don't feel so bad, because this was only the third annual one, apparently, but it will catch on. But in the meantime, I think we're all ready. I've got a little bulb horn down here that I'll just honk once. Hold your ears, everybody. I'm sure that must have gotten picked up. All right. So I do think we're ready. Okay. And, Barbara Henderson, I don't know if I told you this, but you'll be acting as the narrator in this show.
I think I can do it, Scott.
I appreciate it.
The Angel Intrudes, comedy by Floyd Dell. Washington Square by moonlight. A stream of Greenwich villagers hurrying across to the brevoort before the doors are locked. In their wake, a sleepy policeman. The policeman stops suddenly on seeing an angel with shining garments and great white wings, who has just appeared out of nowhere.
Hey, you!
Sir, are you addressing me?
Yes, and I have a good mind to lock you up.
How very inhospitable. Is that the way you treat strangers?
Don't you know it's against the law in New York to parade in the streets in a masquerade costume?
No, I didn't know. You see, I've just this minute arrived from heaven.
Yeah, you look it. See here, me lad. You've been drinking too much of them stingers. You'd better take a taxi and go home.
What? So soon?
I know how you feel. I've been that way myself. But I can't let you go traipsing around in skirts.
Sir, I'm not traipsing about. I'm attending to important business. And I must ask you not to detain me.
Not so fast, me laddie buck. What business have you at this hour of the night? Tell me that.
I don't mind telling you. It concerns a mortal called James Pendleton.
Aha! So you're a friend of Jimmy Pendleton's, are you?
Not exactly. I'm his guardian angel.
Well, faith he needs one. Come, me boy. I'll see you safe to his door.
Thank you, but if you don't mind, I prefer to go alone.
Well, good night to you then.
He idly watches the angelic figure walk away and then stares with amazement as it spreads its wings and soars to the top of Washington Arch. Pausing there a moment, it soars again in the air and is seen wafting its way over the neighboring housetops to the northeast. The policeman shakes his head in disapproval. Jimmy Pendleton is dozing in an easy chair before the fireplace in his studio in Washington Mews. A yellow-backed French novel has fallen from his knee to the floor, It is Anatole France's La Révolte des Anges. A suitcase stands beside the chair. Jimmy is evidently about to go on some journey. A clock begins to strike somewhere. Jimmy Pendleton awakes.
Oh, what a queer dream.
He looks at his watch.
12 o'clock. The taxi ought to be here.
He takes 2 cruise liner tickets from his pocket, looks at them, and puts them back. Then he commences to pace nervously up and down the room, muttering to himself.
Oh, fool, idiot, imbecile.
He is not, so that you could notice it, any of those things. He is a very handsome man of 40. There is the blast of an auto horn outside. He makes an angry gesture.
Too late. That's the taxi.
But he stands uncertainly in the middle of the floor. There is a loud knock at the door.
Yes, yes.
He makes a movement toward the door when it suddenly opens and a lovely lady enters. He stares at her in surprise.
Why, Annabelle.
Annabelle is little. Annabelle's petulant upturned lips are rosebud red. Annabelle's round eyes are baby blue. Annabelle is young.
Yes, it's me. I got tired of waiting and the door was unlocked, so I came right in.
Well,
Aren't you glad to see me?
I'm delighted. But I thought we were going to meet at the station.
So we were.
You haven't changed your mind.
No.
Well, good.
But
Yes.
I got to wondering.
She drifts to the easy chair in front of the fire.
And wondering about what?
He looks at his watch.
About love.
Well,
He lights a cigarette.
it's a subject that can stand a good deal of wondering about. I've wondered about it myself.
That's just it. You speak so cynically about it. I don't believe you're in love with me at all.
Nonsense. Of course I'm in love with you.
No, you're not.
But I tell you I am.
No.
Foolish child.
Well, let's not quarrel about it. We'll talk about something else.
What do you suppose this insanity is if it's not love? What do you imagine leads me to this preposterous escapade, if not that preposterous passion?
That isn't the way I love you.
Then why do you come with me?
Perhaps I'm coming.
Oh, yes, you are. It's foolish, mad, wicked, but you're coming. If not, 10 minutes away is safety and peace and comfort. Shall I call a taxi for you?
She shakes her head.
I thought not. Oh, it's love, all right. Antony and Cleopatra defying the man act. Romance, beauty, adventure. How can you doubt it?
I hate you.
I don't mind. I rather hate you myself. And that's the final proof that this is love.
I thought love was something quite different.
Ah, you thought it was beautiful. It isn't. It's just blathering folly. We'll both regret it tomorrow.
I won't.
Yes, you will. It's human nature. Face the facts.
Facing the facts is one thing and being in love is another.
Quite so. Well, how long do you think your love for me will last?
Forever.
I predict that you will fall in love with the next man you meet.
I think you're perfectly horrid.
So do I. I disapprove of myself violently. I'm a doddering lunatic, incapable of thinking of anything but you. I can't work. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm no use to the world. I'm not a man. I'm a mess. I'm about to do something silly because I can't do anything else.
You've no respect for me.
None whatsoever. I love you, and I'm going to carry you off.
You're a brute.
Absolutely. I'd advise you to go straight home.
Perhaps I shall.
Then go quick.
He takes out his watch.
In 1 minute, if you are still here, I shall pick you up and carry you off to South America. Quick, there's the door.
I want to go.
Well, why don't you? 30 seconds.
I can't.
Shutting his watch,
Time's up. The die is cast.
he lifts her from the chair. She clings to him helplessly.
My darling, my treasure, my beloved, idiot that I am.
He kisses her fiercely.
No, no, no! Stop!
Never.
Stop, please, please! Oh!
The light suddenly goes out, and an instant later blazes out again, revealing the angel, who has suddenly arrived in the middle of the room. The two of them stare at the apparition.
I hope I am not intruding.
Why, not exactly.
Jimmy, who is that man?
The fact is, I don't...
The fact is, madam, I am his guardian angel.
An angel? Oh!
Tell me, have I intruded?
No, not at all.
Thank you for reassuring me. I feared for a moment I had made an inopportune entrance. I was about to suggest that I withdraw until you had finished the ceremony, which I seem to have interrupted.
But wasn't that what you came for? To interrupt?
I beg your pardon.
I mean, if you are my guardian angel and all that sort of thing, you must have come to interfere.
I hope you'll not think that I would be capable of such presumption.
You don't want to, so to speak, reform me?
Not at all. Why, I scarcely know you.
But you're my guardian angel, you say?
Ah, yes, to be sure. But the relation of angelic guardianship has for some hundreds of years been a purely nominal one. We have come to feel that it's best to allow mortals to attend to their own affairs.
Then what did you come for?
For a change. One becomes tired of familiar scenes, and I thought that perhaps my relationship to you might serve in lieu of an introduction. I wanted to be among friends.
Oh, I see.
Of course. We're delighted to have you with us. Won't you come sit down by me by the fire?
If you don't mind. My wings, you know.
Cigarette?
Oh, thank you. I am most anxious to learn the more important of your earthly arts and sciences. Please correct me if I go wrong. This is my first attempt, remember. So...
You're doing it very nicely.
It is incense to the mind.
And now try blowing a smoke ring like this.
Oh, that is too wonderful an art. I fear I can never learn it.
I will teach you.
If you were my teacher, I think I could learn anything.
Really, Annabelle?
What's the matter?
Ordinarily, I wouldn't mind you flirting with strangers, but...
Jimmy, how can you?
Oh, it was my fault, I'm sure, if fault there was. But what is it to flirt? You see, I wish to learn everything.
I hope you never learn that.
I put myself in your hands.
Would you like a drink?
Oh, thank you. I am thirsty. Oh, my. Oh, this is very different from what we have in heaven. Oh, and much better. May I have some more?
Be careful.
Oh, what should I be careful of?
Don't drink too much of that if it's the first time.
Why not? It's an excellent drink.
The maternal instinct. She's afraid you may make yourself ridiculous.
Oh, well, angels do not care for appearances.
He stands up magnificently in the chair, towering above them.
And besides, I feel that you do an injustice to this drink. Already it has made a new being of me.
He looks at Annabelle.
I feel an emotion that I have never known before. If I were in heaven, I should sing.
Oh, won't you sing?
Well, the fact is, I know nothing but hymns, and I'm tired of them. That was one reason why I left heaven. And this robe.
He descends to the floor, viewing his garment with disapproval.
Have you an extra suit of clothes you could lend me?
Yes, I think I have some things that might fit. Do you want them now? I'll go look.
Jimmy goes into the bedroom. The angel looks at Annabelle until his gaze becomes insupportable and she covers her eyes. Then the angel comes over to her side.
I am very much afraid of you.
He takes her hand in his.
One would never guess it.
I am more afraid of you than I was of God. But even though I fear you, I must come close to you and touch you. I feel a strange new emotion, like fire in my veins. The world has become beautiful to me because you are in it. I want to stay here so that I may be with you.
For how long?
Forever.
Darling!
Oh, I'm so ignorant. There is something I want to do right now, but only I don't know how to go about it properly.
He bends shyly toward her lips.
I will teach you.
She kisses him.
Heaven was nothing like this.
They kiss again. Enter Jimmy with an old suit of clothes over his arm. He pauses in dumbfounderment. At last, he regains his voice.
Well,
They look up. Neither of them is perturbed.
Has something happened to annoy you, Jimmy? Oh, my new costume. Thank you so much.
He takes the clothes from Jimmy and examines them with interest.
I suppose I've no right to complain. You can make love to anybody you like. In fact, now that I come to think about it, I predicted this very thing. I said you'd fall in love with the next man you met. So, it's off with the old love and...
I have never been in love before.
The fickleness of women is notorious. It is exceeded only by their mendacity. But angels have been up to this time stood in good repute. Your conduct, sir, is scandalous. I am amazed at you.
It may be scandalous, but it should not amaze you. It has happened too often before. I could quote you many texts from learned theological works. And the sons of God looked at the daughters of men and saw that they were fair. But even if it were as unusual as you imagine, that would not deter me.
You are an unscrupulous wretch. If these are the manners of heaven, I am glad it is so far away, and means of communication is so difficult. A few more of you would corrupt the morals of 5 continents. You are utterly depraved. Here, what are you doing?
I am taking off my robes so as to put on my new clothes.
Spare us the common decencies at least. Go into the other room.
Certainly, if that is the custom here.
With the clothes over his arm, he goes into the bedroom.
And now tell me, Annabelle, what do you mean by this?
We are in love.
Do you mean to say that you would throw me over for that fellow?
Why not?
What good is he? All he can do is sing hymns. In 3 months, he'll be a tramp.
I don't care. And he won't be a tramp. I'll look after him.
The maternal instinct. Well, take care of him if you like, but of course you know that in 6 weeks he'll fall in love with somebody else.
No, he won't. I'm sure that I am the only girl in the world for him.
Of course you're the only girl in the world to him. Now, you're the only one he's ever seen. But wait till he sees the others. 6 weeks. On second thought, I make it 3 days. Immortal love. Ha!
What difference does it make? You don't understand. Whether it lasts a day or a year, while it lasts, it will be immortal.
The angel enters, dressed in Jimmy's old clothes and carrying his wings in his hands.
How do I look?
It's customary to wear one's tie tucked inside the vest.
Flinging the ends of the gorgeous necktie over his shoulder.
No, though I have become a man, I do not without some regret put on the dull garb of mortality. I would not have my form lose all its original brightness. Even so, it is the excess of glory, obscured.
You are quite right, darling.
She tucks the tie inside his vest.
Thank you, beloved. And now, these wings, take them and burn them with your own sweet hands so that I can never leave you, even if I would?
No, I would rather put them away for you in a closet so that you can go and look at them anytime you want to and see that you have the means to freedom ready to your hand. I shall never hold you against your will. I do not want to burn your wings. I really don't. But if you insist...
She takes the wings and approaches the fireplace.
No! Don't let her do it! Fool! You don't know what you're doing. Listen to me. You think that she's wonderful, superior, divine. It's only natural. There were moments when I have thought so myself. But I know why I thought so, and you have yet to learn. Keep your wings, my friend, against the day of your awakening. The day when the glamour of sex has vanished, and you see in her, as you will see, an inferior being, with a weak body, a stunted mind, devoid of creative power, almost devoid of imagination, utterly lacking in critical capacity, a being who does not know how to work, how to talk, or even how to play.
Annabelle, dropping the wings on the hearth, stares at him in speechless anger.
Sir, do you refer in these vulgar and insulting terms to the companion of my soul, the desire of my heart, the perfect lover whose lips have kindled my dull senses to ecstasy?
Yep. Remember that I know her better than you do, old boy. Take my advice and leave her alone. Even now it's not too late. Save yourself from this folly while there's still time.
Never.
Then take these tickets, and I hope I never see either of you again.
He holds out the cruise liner tickets. Annabelle, after a pause, steps forward and takes them.
That is really sweet of you, Jimmy.
The blast of an auto horn is heard outside.
Oh, there's the taxi. Well, take that, too.
Very well. Farewell.
He opens the door. Annabelle at his side turns and blows Jimmy a kiss. Stonily, Jimmy watches them go out. Then he picks up his suitcase and goes, with an air of complete finality, into the other room. There is a moment's silence, and then the door opens softly, and the angel looks in, enters surreptitiously, seizes up the wings, and with them safely clasped to his chest, vanishes again through the door.
Well, thank you, Barbara Henderson. If you hadn't been here to narrate, this would not have been possible.
Thank you, Scott. I think the actors deserve the accolades here.
There was great acting tonight from Melanie Peters and Gabriel Pan.
Oh, why, thank you.
And we've got so much more planned in the season to come, some wonderful plays that we've put together, some new works that we've written, and some public domain things that we found. But now it's time to talk about books. We're always so busy with books here amongst our crew. I want to remind everyone that the nomination period is open for One Book, One San Diego. It's now's your chance to go online. You can even just type in some search terms, One Book, One San Diego, KPBS, and you'll find the nomination forms. And there are certain rules that apply, but if you truly love a book, I think you should nominate it.
What are those requirements?
Well, the author does have to be alive, and the book needs to be easily available for our reading public, hopefully in paperback, an affordable paperback. But there are always exceptions, of course. For instance, Gabriel, do you have a book that's of interest to you?
I over the last several years, and this is something I'd never really thought about before, actually, to go ahead and nominate something like this, but I've been reading this online web series called Girl Genius by Phil and Cajafolio. It's also published as a book, but it's an online web comic, and it's brilliant.
Well, it got your attention towards the book, and that's what One Book would want to take advantage of, all that excitement. And, there are these supporting programs to get people excited about books, and I think that series that you mentioned will be wonderful to feature. So has the book, for instance, here are some of the rules, has the book been reviewed at all in the critical press?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's helpful.
Won several awards as well.
Well, that's always nice, too, because obviously we want the book to be of true value, and having won awards is sometimes a good show of that. And there are some rules that we prefer, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Like, is it available in Spanish?
I really don't know.
Well, we could that the people who choose the book can look into that. And there are years that the One Book people do pick a book that isn't yet translated into Spanish. What they do is they pick a supporting similar book and have that be something also available to the One Book crowd. Melanie, is there a book that you might nominate for One Book, One San Diego, that fantastic reading club here in San Diego?
Oh, absolutely. A book that I would nominate is Circe by Madeline Miller.
And again, is that a living author?
She is a living author.
Well, hooray.
And the book, I believe, it came out last year in hardback, so the paperback is either out now or due soon.
Right. Well, they don't announce the book until August-ish, and so that might mean that there's time.
And I know it's available in the library to check out.
Well, that's always fantastic too.
And what's great about this book is that it's not a retelling of the Odyssey. A book that she is known for is The Song of Achilles, which was a little bit of a retelling of the Iliad, but from the perspective of Patroclus, who was a dear friend of Achilles. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But Circe was a character in the Odyssey, and this book tells Circe's story from her point of view. It's beautiful. It's just lovely.
And I'm under the impression that maybe it's not available in Spanish, maybe, but we could look that up. You
It might
never
be.
know. You never know.
Never know. I mean, it's one. I know Song of Achilles won awards. I'm not sure yet if Circe has, but usually books that are award-winning and on the New York Times bestsellers pretty quickly get translations.
Yeah.
International publication.
Yeah.
Too.
Very good, very good. Now, Miss Barbara Henderson, don't be shy. Just what is your favorite book that you would want people to read?
Well, I've just recently rediscovered Little Women, so I was crushed when I heard you say that kind of like rule number one was it had to be a living author. No exceptions at all?
Well, maybe there would be, like, for instance, if it was some sort of a classic where maybe illustrations were known to be a part of it, and if there was a new illustrator, maybe that would be one way. Or maybe someone has done a graphic novel version of that book.
Steinbeck on a couple of years ago?
And so with that kind of graphic novel opportunity, that's a book that they prefer for the high school crowd. They've got a very good learning program and a pedagogic program for graphic novels, and they do really prefer graphic novels for the high school readers. And now, just this past year, the book for even the adults winners was a graphic novel, so there are always exceptions, and that's something you should keep in mind. We often, and I am on that committee that helps pick the book, and so it is obvious sometimes when people haven't read the rules, but it's also wonderful to know what people love as a book, and it's fine if they've nominated a book that for some reason is not appropriate. Like sometimes, like if the book is 1,000 pages long, that's probably not going to work out because it does need to potentially become part of perhaps a high school reading program, and it's just 1,000 pages is just too much. And if the book is just too expensive to buy, that can be another reason why. But I hope everyone will, log in, go online, and find where the One Book, One San Diego site is, and nominate a book. I think that's a great idea. So please do that, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing I wanted to talk about tonight was something exciting that we did at Geisel Library just the other week is we celebrated World Bookmark Day. We didn't invent World Bookmark Day, but we've been wanting to celebrate it for the past 3 years and just haven't had the space available in our exhibit cases. But this year it was available, and this is the third year of World Bookmark Day, and it's it's supported by this international group called the International Friends of Bookmarks. And they've got a really nice website and a really nice newsletter, and it's very scholarly because bookmarks, of course, are a very famous companion to books for thousands of years. Yes. 2,000 years. That's plenty. 2,000 years is plenty. Just two, but 2,000 after all. And bookmarks have served a great function of just saving your place in your book, of course, but they also served a great function perhaps of being advertisements for businesses or advertisements for social programs or just, wonderful items of great interest. Like, Melanie, do you have a favorite bookmark that you use?
I do. I got one for Christmas because it says, I read past my bedtime. And my husband got it for me because I absolutely do that. If I'm reading, I will ignore the clock and I'll be like, oh, wait, I just need to finish this chapter. Oh, wait, just a couple more pages. And then before I know it, it's 2:00 in the morning on a school night. And I am just a wreck the next day.
It's just the truth. That's all.
And I love this bookmark. It's got a little illustration of a fox wearing glasses curled up with a book.
And it looks just like you, I bet.
Yes, a foxy lady.
Yes, exactly. Well, at UC San Diego Library, we did devote 6 flat glass cases, plus one tall, skinny one, to various bookmarks of all shapes and sizes. And some were crocheted, and some were darned, and some were petty pointed, all these terms that I don't understand. And some were just fantastic, schlocky, corny ones, featuring heartthrobs from the past, to encourage you to read, like Orlando Bloom, a very young Orlando Bloom.
So is there, like, an award-winning record size for the largest bookmark in the world?
I vote no. I vote no, because we have to be sustainable. And there's only so much paper that we need to use up. I'm afraid, but anything can be a bookmark. You can use foreign currency. That's exciting.
I've used, like, back in the days when you paid your bills by check, I would use like a bill stub. Oh, did you? Or like your bill envelope, stick it in your book.
And one of the items on display for this exhibit was a delightful book called The Forgotten Bookmark, and it was just nothing but hundreds of little items that a independent bookstore owner saved and pulled out of books that he was selling as used books. And many things, just like you've mentioned, Miss Melanie, many delightful, enchanting little items.
I love that when I borrow a book from somebody else or I get a book out of the library and I'm about halfway through and all of a sudden something falls out. And you realize, they stuck this little, somebody wrote a reminder to get milk and they stuck it in the book.
I wonder if they remembered to do it.
Probably
wonder.
Not. Probably not.
And at this event, which was on February 25th, because that is World Bookmark Day, February 25th.
Marking my calendar right now for next year.
At this event, we actually encouraged people to make their own bookmark, and we had supplies, wonderful papers and wonderful stickers and just fantastic little things and beautiful colored pencils. And it was from the sublime to the ridiculous. And the ridiculous ones were just as sublime as the most sublimest ones. And all the students and visitors who were there were quite excited to make a bookmark. And it's funny, the last-minute things you can realize that for supplies. My sister had a big old wad of paint swatch samples. Those big long. They're like 3 times as long as a dollar bill or 5 times as long as a dollar bill. And I said, "Hey, do you need this?" And so that became the most sought-after material to make a bookmark from. Was that long? Because if you have a favorite color, well, there it is in 30 different shades.
Mm-hmm.
And there's wonderful papers that they can use, and even if you just keep an eye open, like there's like gift tags, oversized gift tags, and so no, Gabe, none of them were like massively huge, but that would be a great way to exhibit sometime because we could get a double oversized book and call it, and maybe we'll call it. We'll name it after you, Gabe.
Guinness would have a category at some point.
Well, we're just going to have to. If there isn't one, we'll make one, and we'll just storm the world with it. I'll probably have to talk to. Maybe I'll talk to Lane Farley about it. She, for years, was the executive director of the California Digital Library, and she is one of the founders of World Bookmark Day.
Well,
It is.
got an in.
Yeah, it is interesting when the more technotic we become, and the more we're surrounded by digital things. You just fall in love with paper even more sometimes,
right.
and things that are tactile. And I've had a chance to communicate with her a little bit, and she's going to feature some pictures and some facts from this past event we had in the newsletter and website of the International Friends of the Bookmark. So that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited to hear from her. She was very pleased that here in San Diego we were taking up the mantle of their World Bookmark Day. And I was very clear to her that, yes, we are celebrating your World Bookmark Day. And we've been wanting to do it. I've been wanting to do it for the past couple years. And this is the third year, and I finally got my act together. But we'll never miss another one. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen.
February when?
February 25.
All right.
And there's still so much excitement going on in San Diego. For instance, tomorrow at Geisel Library, we're celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday a day early. March 2 is Seuss Day, the birthday of Dr. Seuss, and the birthday of the Cat in the Hat. But when that date falls on a weekend, we always go for the real school day to celebrate it. So I'll be in front of Geisel Library with my toy piano band playing songs from the Cat in the Hat songbook. And there'll be free cake and punch. So if you're listening live today, you should go. And if you're listening to this as a podcast years and years after the fact, believe me, there will always be a Seuss Day party in front of Geisel Library at noon on whatever rhymes with March 2. If March 2 falls on a Saturday or Sunday, then it'll be Friday, March 1 instead. Trust me, because Friday's better than Monday. That's for sure. Well, I think I should start flailing my arms about and warning Wade that maybe it's time for us to sign off on the air. Normally this show's an hour long, but now, perhaps you all, for the final hour of the show, the final minutes that remain, maybe you should just meditate. Meditate on bookmarks and what you should do as a bookmark. Meditate on, Wade, could I pull back for a moment? I lied. I've just been handed a new story. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been handed a new story from young Master Flynn. Liam Flynn has handed me a brand new story that I'm going to read on the air. It's on the very highest quality paper that I've ever seen. I wonder if this is yet another installment of Planet Sweatpants. Let's find out. Okay, so here we go. Now, let's see. Thank you for handing this to me. Tonight's episode on Planet Sweatpants in Sweatpants Universe is a continuation from last time. We last left off with Ned proving to Alex that mayonnaise is an instrument, and Alex giving him a funny look. It was the next day, and Ned and Alex decided to go to Sweatpants Buy to get a new TV. While doing other things. Alex then told Ned there will be no food behind, under, over, next to, in, on, or smeared on the new TV. Then they got into Ned's other car, which had a working radio, and they made their first stop at Taco Sweatpants for breakfast. Ned ordered 3 bean and cheese burritos, 3 bean tostadas, 3 quesadillas, and a large iced tea. Alex said to Ned, "Do you ever order a normal breakfast?" Because he ordered himself 2 breakfast burritos and coffee. Well, then they got their food, and Ned ate his first burrito in less than 20 seconds. Alex said, "Can you slow down?" Ned replied with, "I don't know. Can I?" After breakfast, the two of them were on their way to meet up with Pete. Again, in the car, Ned kept breaking massive wind and said, "I heard nothing, I smell nothing, and I know nothing." Alex then yelled, "May you say excuse me, like a normal person?" Ned replied with, no comment. When they were almost to Sweatpants Coffee to meet up with Pete, Ned did a fart so big that it burned holes in his boxers and sweatpants and shook the car. At Sweatpants Coffee with Pete, Ned was holding himself in a funny way, so Pete asked, "Would you like to use the restroom?" After about an hour at Sweatpants Coffee, the three of them were off to Sweatpants Buy to get a new TV. Once there, Ned's excessive gas kept going. Pete then suggested that he should go use the restroom and added that it won't bite. Ned then made his selection on his new TV, and they talked about what to do for lunch. Alex said no more Mexican food for Ned today because he already had some, and it keeps being rude about it. They ended up going to 5 Sweatpants for lunch, and both of the restrooms were out of order, so they had a sign asking to use the one in back. Alex decided that he needed to use the restroom, so he asked the nice man working the counter, "Can I use the restroom?" He got, "I don't know, can you?" "I sure hope you can," as a response. And that is grammatically correct, isn't it? Anyway, after lunch, the three of them went to see a movie before dinner at Sweatpants Station. Oh, that's the dinner place. Sweatpants Station, got it. At dinner, Ned made some very weird but tasty combinations with the pizza, ice cream, and ice cream toppings. Alex exclaimed, "That's disgusting." Then all three of them went to Ned's house to try out the new TV after dinner. The end. Well, that is the end of the show. So now I'm hoping that some public domain music starts playing on the air. Maybe if I flail my arms around. I know I realize I already asked for it before, but here I'm asking. It is! So, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So glad that young Master Flynn had that final story to act as a coda to our show. Again, my thanks to everyone. See you, we're here the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month at 8 p.m. live.
Attention coaches, authors, speakers, and business owners. Please pay close attention to what I'm about to say if you want to secure massive visibility fast and generate thousands of highly qualified leads without spending a dime on advertising or marketing. The easiest way to make this happen is to appear as a guest on the world's most popular podcast. We recently came across an awesome resource that provides detailed contact information for 240 new media influencers who are looking for guests just like you. It's called the Ultimate Directory, and for a limited time you can get the preview edition of the directory absolutely free. That's right, for free. It's time for you to get the visibility you and your business deserve and connect with the world's leading icons of influence who can make you famous with the push of a button. Get your free preview edition of the Ultimate Directory right now at www.myultimatedirectory.com. That's myultimatedirectory.com.
You were born to do one amazing thing, but most people spend a lifetime trying to identify what it is. If you're in a job you don't like or are unemployed, if you're in a state of transition or just can't shake that nagging feeling that you were meant and made to do something extraordinary, then the Reinvention Workshop is exactly what you need. Led by award-winning self-help author Steve Olsher, the Reinvention Workshop will forever change your life. The Reinvention Workshop takes you step by step through Steve's proven formula that has helped so many people get on the right path and clear about what they were born to do. Take the first step to realizing the life you deserve and desire by visiting the reinventionworkshop.com today. No more delays. No more denial. Reconnect with your true self. Learn to live with purpose and conviction and become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Log on to the reinventionworkshop.com today. That's the reinventionworkshop.com.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.